Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Tonight on Coyote News, community members recognize a traditionally German celebration all the way in South Dakota. And learn why Monday's holiday means more than a day off from school.
Plus, a look at a campus club that's trying to get students to step out of their shell through improvisation.
Good evening. I'm Jackie Hendry.
And I'm Brad Noel. We'll get to those stories and more in just a few minutes. First, the headlines with Levi Goots.
2 people are dead after a small plane crashed into a mobile home park yesterday in Palm Springs, Florida. Investigators say the incident set 2 homes on fire and killed the pilot and a 21-year-old woman who was inside the home. No one else was in the plane and no one else on the ground was injured. The Food and Drug Administration says that Dole Fresh Vegetables is voluntarily recalling some bagged spinach due to salmonella. Random tests by the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development turned up positive for the bacteria. The spinach was sold in 13 states, and Dole is currently reaching out to the stores to make sure they pull the product from grocery shelves. On average, 380 people in the U.S. die every year from suffering from salmonella infections. Yesterday, Planned Parenthood announced it will no longer accept reimbursement for the cost of providing fetal tissue for medical research. The move comes after months of controversy surrounding secretly recorded conversations between Planned Parenthood officials about profiting from fetal tissue sales. Anti-abortion activists recorded the footage and passed it on to Congress. And those are your headlines.
A new study by the Associated Press finds that knowing what to do if a shooting starts is still hazy at colleges across the country. Coyote News' Michael Guerin joins us now in the studio to explain their findings and what it means at USD. Michael?
Jackie, 8 years after the Virginia Tech massacre led to tighter security at colleges across the United States, this review by the AP finds some schools make active shooter training mandatory for incoming students, while others offer little more than brief online guidance on what to do if there's a gunman on the loose.
And in this area, there's still a lot of activity. There are still officers up above, crouched behind trees and those kinds of things. We did also see someone in custody earlier, and we have some videotape we want to show you from where we were over at the drill field. This is from about an hour to an hour and a half ago. You're seeing sirens and people running, and you're seeing police out with their weapons drawn.
This is file video from CNN's first live report on that day in 2007. The AP looked at public colleges and universities in more than 40 states after yet another shooting rampage, the killing of 9 people at an Oregon community college October 1st. On Friday, there was more bloodshed, with 1 person killed and 3 wounded at an Arizona university. At some institutions, training on how to respond to an armed intruder has become as much a part of fall orientation as lessons on alcohol abuse. Students hear presentations covering their options such as running, hiding, or fighting back. Other schools have just voluntary training, or they put information on what to do in an emergency on their websites, where it can easily be overlooked by students and staff members. And that's how it is at USD. The South Dakota Board of Regents says it has left many security decisions to the colleges overseas, but it's unclear whether each school has a plan for active shooter scenarios. And now, Jackie, the board says that have done extensive planning for all emergency situations at each school, but that's not dictated by any policy. At least 2 schools have held emergency drills.
Well, that's good information, Michael, but what more can you tell us about the specifics of USD?
Sure, USD does have a plan on their website, and we obtained a copy of it. Basically, what it's saying is that faculty, staff, and students should remain calm during an active shooter situation, but also make sure they plan a strategy for survival. And there's a lot of tips in there, and that's located at the bottom of the main page at usd.edu.
Thanks, Michael. Much of the attention focused on the 2016 presidential campaign has been on the Republican candidates and their 2 recent debates. But last night, the Democrats took center stage with their first debate, and party members at USD are excited to hear the candidates talk about the issues. Joey Kanofchinsky of the Campus Democrats says he hasn't been impressed with the Republican debates.
We also need a mandatory E-Verify system.
Seems like the debates so far on the Republican side have been more or less of just a form of entertainment for everyone. At least that's how I perceive them. gave me a good laugh a few times.
Told us all the things we wanted to hear back in 2008. We don't know who you are or where you're going. We need someone who can actually get the job done.
Kenneth Shinsky says he hopes the Democratic candidates will offer better choices to voters.
It's going to be important, at least try to compare Hillary and Bernie Sanders especially on where they stand and what's going to be the most useful position for the American people.
Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Martin O'Malley, Lincoln Chafee, and Jim Webb were the Democrat candidates featured in last night's debate. The campus Democrats and Republicans will host their own debate in Farber Hall on October 29th.
Bratwurst, pretzels, and polka music. On this week's Yote Report, Michaela Feldman takes us to a traditional German celebration right here in Vermillion.
You don't have to cross an ocean to get a taste of Germany. Last weekend, the W.H. Over Museum hosted Vermillion's first Oktoberfest, and they're calling it Oktoberfest Overfest. Tourism marketing coordinator Tim Bellis says American versions of Oktoberfest come down to three things: beer, brats, and a polka band.
Pull your lederhosen on and check out your St. Pauli girl outfits. Just get out here and just have some fun, let your hair down. It's just a celebration of, long hard harvest or school year or whatever.
The event featured live polka music with local talent, Minnesota Shell Brewery beer, brats, and clogging. High school junior Dawson Daniels says she is participating in Oktoberfest as part of the German club.
We had 15 Germans come to Vermillion from our sister city, Radigan, and one of them stayed with me. And this May, I'm gonna go to Germany and stay with her, and I'm really excited to do that.
Oktoberfest is a traditional autumn festival that is held every October in Germany. Also known as a celebration of the harvest, Oktoberfest features beer drinking, dancing, and authentic German Oktoberfest garb. Vermillion's first Oktoberfest brought a colorful aspect to the German autumn tradition with pumpkin painting, which was a crowd favorite. Foreign exchange student Tyla Fankard says she thinks it's amazing that Vermillion is hosting an Oktoberfest.
I don't think that's a big thing in America, but it's a big thing in Germany and Austria, so yeah, I'm excited.
Bellis says he hopes to revive the Spring Summer Arts Festival in the spring. For the Yote Report, I'm Michaela Feldman.
Bellis says he hopes to make Vermillion Oktoberfest an annual tradition. Coming up after the break, how Native American Day is more than just a day off for South Dakotans. Plus, a new club aims to help people improve their public speaking skills. Stay with us.
This is Coyote News.
On Monday, students and workers across South Dakota got the day off to celebrate Native American Day. The state is one of the few to recognize the holiday with this name rather than Columbus Day. This holiday is celebrated every second Monday in October. This nationwide recognition gives students and others the day off, but it means more than that for the Director of Native Student Services, Gene Thinelk. He says this day is special to Indigenous people everywhere.
But this day kind of celebrates a Native American history, perspective, cultural expression.
Thinelk says Native American Day is a time to recognize history and culture.
The holiday is a holy day. So for the Native people, in reality, this is really a special and sacred time to expression.
South Dakota started observing the holiday as Native American Day in 1990 in accordance with Governor Mickelson's Year of Reconciliation with Native Peoples.
USD currently has over 120 student organizations, and tonight, Coyote News' Andy Hartman takes a closer look at one of the newest campus clubs.
Recently, a new organization has come to campus. USD's Toastmasters Club held their first meeting in the muck 2 weeks ago. Toastmasters is an international organization that has over 15,000 clubs in 135 countries. The purpose of Toastmasters Club is to help develop communication and leadership skills.
We thought that would be something good to bring to campus for both staff and students and community people in order to provide that kind of opportunity to improve those skills.
One member of USD's Toastmasters Club is Stephanie Rissler, who hopes to improve her public speaking skills.
I do fine when I'm on camera. I do fine if I'm on radio. And I can do okay in small groups, but if you put me in a large setting full of people, I do get more nervous than I should. And so I'm hoping that this will give me whatever the tools they have to kind of curb that, make me a little bit more confident in front of people.
Toastmasters is dedicated to help people in all career paths.
It's not just for people that want to be in communications or media or professions that you have to speak in front of everyone, because no matter what in life, you're going to have to present and you're going to have to talk to people. And what the club has to offer, it really helps all individuals become better.
Toastmasters Club is open to faculty, students, and members of the Vermillion community. It meets Wednesdays at 12:30 in the Muck. For Coyote News, I'm Andy Hartman.
Toastmasters holds meetings in Muck Room 211. Coming up after the break, find out how a group of educating majors is petitioning for higher teacher salaries and an inside look into USD's Improv Club. Stay tuned.
Fostering is when you take in an animal into your home and you take care of them until we can find them a permanent forever home.
If you can find it in your heart to do it, it's rewarding.
We do all the vetting, the neutering, the spaying, the medications.
The Humane Society has lots and lots of great dogs and cats that can pull at your heartstrings and make you realize you got a little more to give.
This is Coyote News.
The South Dakota Education Association targets an important issue for future graduates majoring in education. The SDEA meeting is introducing the petition for the Degrees Not Debt campaign, which focuses on a pay increase for teachers.
Anybody have any questions about the campaign? We're putting in so much work as it is, putting in so many hours during the day, and we have to look over so many kids in our classrooms. We just want to feel valued with that back, with respect, as well as enough income to support our own families.
Wright says even if the increase is 2%, it'll be helpful for future educators. She also says the organization isn't as well known as others, but it's still important and beneficial for students majoring in education.
We just really want to get the word out to any education majors who are looking for improving themselves along with their field and making them overall a great teacher to give back to their kids and society.
The organization offers activities for students while finding resources for education majors and helping them with resumes. Wright says the SDEA is planning to send the petition to the senator later this month.
Many students may recognize USD fine arts organizations, such as the theater department, various choirs, and bands, but most are unaware of a club that allows students to step out of their comfort zones. Coyote News' Steve Nunez gives us an inside look to USD's Improv Club.
Out of the hundreds of clubs on campus, Improv sets itself apart by asking members to come with nothing but their own wit and humor.
We promote fast thinking and building off of nothing really, because when you have to make an impromptu speech or you want to make a point, it's not always planned out. So being able to think on your feet quickly and effectively is just a part of life that you should have down.
With that fast thinking comes a willingness to speak more openly with peers. As some club members struggle with socializing outside the club, inside are being planted the seeds of personal growth.
My incredible shyness, it was very annoying. It kind of forced me to kind of just be all right with being dorky already. Like, yeah, just kind of being okay with yourself, because there's more dorky people in improv than you think.
About it. You are the one who spilled You're the one who spilled soda on the trigger. That's what made it sticky.
With each new skit, members open up more of not always who they are, but who they may want to be.
Think more freely, be able to think off their feet and not be hindered so much by what other people might think, because improv is all about just going out there on a limb with what you think and just going with it.
So whether it's discovering who you are or just socializing, improv tells us it is okay to just go with it. For Coyote News, I'm Steve Nunez.
Berg says the club is hoping to perform before an audience in the future. On this week's Coyote blog, Andy Hartman shares her love for something a lot of college students don't get enough of: sleep.
Today I'm going to talk about something that I seem to be a minority in. That thing is the fact that I don't randomly pull all-nighters all the time. I don't understand people who do pull all-nighters all the time. I mean, how? I sleep all the time. I can't even fathom not sleeping at night. I hear people talking about how great it is that they got 4 hours of sleep one night. You call that good? That sounds miserable to me. I need at least 6 hours to be able to function the next day, but I will gladly take more. It's nearly impossible for me to pull an all-nighter. I've only successfully pulled one once. It was with my middle school youth group, and the only reason I was successful was because I forced myself to stay awake, due to the fact that my friends threatened to draw on my face if I fell asleep. I had nice friends. Middle school was fun. The point is, I need sleep. Always. I kind of wish I was asleep right now. There are plenty of couches and chairs around this building that I could sleep on. I'd be lying if I said I haven't fallen asleep on them before. College is hard. Get some sleep, because sleep is a wonderful thing. For Coyote Blog, I'm Andy Hartman.
Thanks, Andy. Coming up after the break, highlights from the Coyote football team's game against Western Illinois. Plus, the swimming and diving team hosts their home opener. Stay with us.
This is Coyote News.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the Coyote football team falls to Western Illinois, and an offensive lineman is being treated for a spinal cord injury. Plus, Coyote News' Sean Bauer is live with a member of the swim team to talk about their winning meet this past weekend. I'm Erica Arpan.
And I'm Anthony Gosh. The volleyball team picked up a win this weekend and faced rival SDSU last night. And in the Reiners Report, Devin gives you his take on what a college football athlete is doing for a good cause. But first, the headlines. Levi?
The Chicago Cubs beat the St. Louis Cardinals last night 6-4 to win their NLDS series 3-1. This is the Cubs' first ever series clinching win at Wrigley Field in franchise history. They'll play the winner of the Los Angeles Dodgers and New York Mets series. Chicago is looking for its first World Series title since 1908. Former NBA player Lamar Odom was taken to a Las Vegas hospital yesterday after he was found unresponsive at a brothel in Crystal, Nevada. Odom is fighting for his life. No immediate cause is known yet, but Odom has dealt with drug problems in the past. Odom hasn't played in the NBA since 2014. The University of Southern California has announced that head football coach Steve Sarkisian was dismissed from the program Monday. Sarkisian had several instances with alcohol abuse and was fired for not living up to the standards of USC. Sarkisian was entered into a rehabilitation center since his dismissal. And those are your headlines.
The USD football team lost its second game in a row, falling to Western Illinois 40-21 on Saturday. The Leathernecks were able to score on each of its first 7 possessions, including 3 touchdown drives to begin the second half to put the game out of reach. Ryan Sager threw for 197 yards, while freshman running back Michael Frederick rushed for a season-high 90 yards to lead the Coyotes offensively. The loss moves USD's record to 2-3 overall and 0-2 on the Missouri Valley Conference play. The Coyotes play 4-time defending national champions North Dakota State this Saturday in Fargo. During Saturday's football game, sophomore offensive lineman Sam McLaren sustained a spinal cord injury. McLaren was experiencing numbness and lack of mobility on his right side. He was transported from the Macomb, Illinois hospital to the hospital in Iowa City. He has regained limited mobility and has been able to walk with assistance. He'll be moved to the rehab center in Cedar Rapids later this week.
The football team wasn't the only group of Coyotes to take on Western Illinois this past weekend. The USD men's and women's swimming and diving teams swept their home opener against Western Illinois on Saturday. The women won 141-66. Junior Allie Fouth won the women's 400-meter individual medley, and junior Grayson Herding finished in first for the women's diving team. The USD men won 134-108. Freshman Hunter Paget led the men with 2 wins, including setting a new school record in the 400-meter freestyle. That record had stood since 1996. The Coyote women return to the pool on October 22nd when they take on Northern Iowa. The men are back in action on November 6th as they travel to Ames, Iowa for the Iowa State Triangular. Now, Coyote News' Sean Bauer is live in the muck with junior swimmer Jake Knowles to talk about the team's success this weekend and to preview the upcoming meets for the team. Sean?
Thanks, Anthony. The men's swimming and diving team won 8 out of 13 events this past Saturday against Western Illinois. I'm here with Jake Knowles to talk about how the team's preparing for the rest of its season. Thanks for stopping by with us today, Jake. First off, first meet of the season, you guys are able to, have a pretty dominating performance against Western Illinois. What does that do for team morale?
It's really good. It really builds our confidence going into the rest of the season. To start your year off with the wins are a really big plus for us.
Now in swimming, you are timed as well as place-wise. For you guys, do you measure success on either of those, or how do you guys measure your success throughout the year?
As of right now, we're just aiming for times. I mean, it's great to win races, great to win meets, but we just want to see our times progress as the season goes through meets, and then towards conference and bigger meets, we looked for places and for faster times.
All right, now you guys don't have the men's team doesn't have another meet until November 6th. Does it ever get frustrating without being able to compete and only having to practice for those weeks?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot. Swim season 7 months long. We wake up every morning at 5:30 for 6 a.m. practice, and without meets, there's nothing to look forward to. It's just endless practice and practice and practice, really.
All right, thank you. That was Jake Knowles of the swim team. Him and the Coyotes compete next November 6th in Ames, Iowa at the Iowa State Triangular. Live from the muck for Coyote News, I'm Sean Bauer.
Thanks, Sean. The USD volleyball team fell in straight sets last night to rival SDSU, but were able to pick up their first conference victory of the season as they trumped Oral Roberts with a 2-1 win in the Coyote Den on Sunday. The Coyotes had an early lead in the first set, swatting down 9 kills. Junior Audrey Rieg led the Coyotes in scoring with 19 kills and 11 digs. Junior Haley Jorgensen earned her career high with 12 kills and 6 block assists. Senior Kelsey Biltoft and freshman Haley Dothseth each contributed 11 kills for South Dakota. Oral Roberts took 2 sets and 3, putting them above South Dakota 2-1. South Dakota rallied to win the final 2 sets for the win. The Coyotes play next this Friday as they host IUPUI at the Den.
Even though their first game doesn't take place for another month, the men's basketball season is underway in the Dakota Dome. Top recruited freshman Tyler Hagedorn says he's been learning how to manage his time with Division I athletics. On top of taking 15 credits in his first semester of college, Hagedorn says he's trying to maintain good grades while attending practice every day.
I never did homework in high school, and then all of a sudden it's just like I'm in the library for 10 hours a week sitting down and doing homework, and that's just life,
Hagedorn says his college schedule is much different than it was in high school.
Back then it was Netflix and chilling at home, and now it's, you go straight from the library, straight to practice, straight back to Kyle Village and sleep, and it's just a repeat every day.
The Coyotes are set to open their season against Wright State on November 13th in DeKalb, Illinois. On this week's Reiners Report, Devin discusses how flooding in South Carolina disrupted a college football game, but ultimately showcased the compassion of an athlete as well.
On Saturday, the game between the LSU Tigers and the South Carolina Gamecocks
was scheduled to be played in Columbia, South Carolina, but was moved to Baton Rouge, Louisiana because of flash flooding across the state. This definitely put the Gamecocks at a disadvantage, not being able to play in front of their home fans. But there was no other option. LSU won the game 45-24, led by star running back Leonard Fournette, who has been outstanding this season. His 158 rushing yards on Saturday was his least efficient game of the year. His accomplishments so far have completely blown my mind. But what Fournette decided to do after the game showed he is a great person as well as a great football player. In his post-game press conference, he told reporters that he was going to auction off his game-worn jersey to help benefit those affected by the flooding in South Carolina. Fournette knows what it's like to be affected by tragedy. His family was displaced from their home because of Hurricane Katrina when he was only 10 years old. The NCAA initially said that this would be a violation of rules, but because Fournette himself wouldn't be profiting from the sale of his jersey, it will be allowed. I am glad the NCAA is allowing him to help those in need. It seems like all we hear on the news is athletes getting into trouble, so it's nice to hear a story of an athlete doing something good and giving back. And that's the Reiners Report.
Thanks, Devin. Coming up next on this week's edition of Coyote Shorts, we take a look at the difference between coyotes and jackrabbits. Stay with us.
USD's Media and Journalism Department can be seen and heard all over campus. Faculty members know that hands-on experience now is the key to success after college. Get professional experience by participating in one of the many practicums offered. Have your voice heard on the radio. Edit a promo for a campus organization. Investigate breaking news stories for a weekly newspaper. Design advertisements for local businesses. Get involved with the Media and Journalism Department at USD and start your future now.
This is Coyote News.
Over the next few weeks, many students will be preparing for midterm exams and projects. Even though the campus library provides a space for students to focus on schoolwork, not everyone prefers the confines of ID Weeks.
On this week's Out and About, we asked students if they like to study in the library.
Do you study at the library? Why or why not?
I do a lot because I live with a girl and a boy and you don't really get much done. So the library is my go-to place.
I don't study too much there. Yes, I study in the library because it's really quiet.
And I don't like to study there because I have my own place to study at.
And I can usually get a lot more stuff done there.
Yes, I do, because it's a magical place. It's a wonderland.
No, I do not. I study at home.
Yes, because I get to sit down by myself with no one distracting me.
But I like to write papers there because it's quiet.
Yes, I do because it is a lot quieter than in my dorm room.
I do not study at the library because there are always people. Oh, wait, no.
Yes, well, I live off campus, so then I'm here stuck all day long.
I do study at the library because at my house there's always people drinking.
Yes, I do because it's quiet.
I've never been to the library, I don't think. I spend about 6 to 8 hours in the library a day.
On this week's edition of Coyote Shorts, we take a look at what separates USD students from our rivals to the north.
Hey man, you busy?
I'm just on farmersonly.com.
Do you want to watch Shawshank Redemption?
No, that movie sucks.
You want to watch Inception?
No, that one sucks.
Do you want to watch Saving Private Ryan?
That one's even worse.
Well, what do you want to watch then?
Do you want to watch Transformers 4? What?
That's all for Coyote News. Be sure to check out our new daily updates by following us on Facebook and Twitter.
Have a great night. We'll see you next time.